Deadzone Vault, everybody. Here we're going to do a bit of an unboxing. It's going to be this Veer-Myn Brood Matriarch booster thing. This model has been out for a long time. These guys you used to only be able to get with the Piper, and it's the new plastic Piper, I believe, that you could get them with. And I should have him coming in the mail. I've ordered them, put in my Mantic points and whatnot, so we'll see how Mantic treats me. But I should be getting 2 more of these plus the Piper model. But these guys, they're supposed to be resin, and as you can see, this thing's still wrapped up. I haven't cracked it open yet, and that's what we're going to do just now. There it is. And there it is. So you get 2 for this one. First things first, you know what I'm talking about? Save those bad boys. Okay, they're treating things a lot nicer now, which is good. Okay, 3 bigger 40 mil bases. We got a bunch of resin components. Let's see. I wonder, I guess this is just, is this the mother? Okay, that is kind of plasticky. Let's crack this open. That stinking weapon was all the way at the top. Yeah, that's plasticky. It's not. Man, what a crazy bit that was to pull out of a mold. And it looks like it's pretty good, actually. It's kind of wobbly. But good old plastic stuff. There's her armor-plated tail. It's got big old wide hips. You just cut that piece off, and you can. The detail looks pretty good for junky plastic, and this is kind of a rubbery. It's not a good hard plastic. This is kind of a rubbery plastic. I guess it's some kind of spiky crown. Some Freddy Krueger glove going on there. Yeah. And then the main body bit here with a big old bloated belly. So, yeah. I was wondering if they were going to put those rat swarms on some bases, and they do. So that's nice. So 1 for each, 5 40 mils. Okay, so you'll get a sticky. Okay, and this is nice. I thought that the rats were going to be plastic too, but they're nice resin. So you're going to get good detail out of these. Nice. See, that's awesome. And oh, that's cute. You don't see that in the pictures. A little rat bursting out of that little crack in the pipe. Look at that little rat head. That's awesome. That kind of detail is nice. And I love resin for this stuff. Really most excellent. That's cool. Very, very cool to put that on a table. And there's just a lump of rats. I don't know if you guys remember the old school Games Workshop days where you'd have the individual metal rats you had to put on the big 40 mil square base. But this is more volume right there. I just like it. They're crawling on top of each other like they would escaping a ship. You know, drowning rat and all that. Awesome. So, you know what? Actually, the rats are why I bought this box set. Because I've got Piper coming in. He generates rats. So, very excited about that. And now for the main part of this box, I guess, which is these Sentinel dudes. I'm gonna pour it out. And as a pro tip, the bags for the resin don't chuck because there might be like fingertips, tail tips, anything like that, weapon tips broken inside this bag, and you might not get to them initially. So just put the bag to the side, and if there's anything broken, then do a good search of that bag. Alright, so we've got some halberdy things. They're pretty cool. I guess they're on purpose tipless. Let me see if I can. Yeah, they're just tipless right there. You've got the webbing right in here that needs to be trimmed out, that webbing. But for the most part, super crisp and clean, and it's not warped, unlike her. You know, there's a difference there. Resin is always superior to this mess. And that, it's not really Milton Bradley plastic quality of this stuff. It's not, but it's still, you know, rubbery type. Anyway, a main body here. Yeah, these guys are cool, man. Really good armor. Very clean and militant for a rat. That's pretty awesome. And there's the chem spitters. You got like another bit of webbing there that needs to be removed. That's nice. And if you guys do your best to put a hole at the end of your chem spitters, come on, man. Make this stuff look real. So awesome. These guys aren't a like a converted kit. Like you can't, you know, build them how you want. They're a one-way only kit unless you've got green stuff skills. Be careful when you cut off that tip there. You don't want to take some of the tip of the tail with you. So get that bad boy at an angle. But yeah, very cool armor for a rat. Very, very cool. And there's no like, oh well, here we go. All right, there's a problem, but I've dealt with this mess many times in GW. Right here, do you see how those lines don't match up and there's a disparity there? That's called a slip mold. That is a slip mold right there. So this half of the mold slipped down, this half slipped up. Generally in molds, they have pips on them, like male buds and female bits that hold onto the bud on each side to line everything up to where there is no slip. But these guys are probably doing this mess extremely fast. So you will occasionally get a slip. And it looks ugly. That's ugly. Let me see if it affected the face a little bit there. Looking dead on, it didn't really affect. Underneath, there's no real effect. Okay. Didn't really affect the tail either. I mean, there's a pronounced mold line, but it didn't affect the tail. Yes, on the back as well, it affected it. So you see how that slip mold has gone up. So what you have to do is just trim it the best you can. Run an X-Acto knife through the lines and make it look as well as it can. Yeah, the top here is very dramatic. That reminds me of old Games Workshop days, and those almost a whole bunch of their models would be slip molds like this. Some of them would be extremely drastic. Yeah, so what I would do is go in there. Okay, you see how it's slipped there, and you've got that nice angle there. What you do, put your knife blade in there and kind of take the angle out. You want to take those angles out because that, you kind of make it sloping. You see, once you take the angle out, it makes it look visually straighter, because that angle is just the thing that's messing with you. And you kind of want to get it as even as you can. Try to, anyway. Get it as smooth as you can without taking off too much material. Now, of course, you're going to have a thicker side and a thinner side. That just happens when you remove material. But, yeah, what a pain. What a pain. And some of it just requires some light scraping in there to get rid of that angle and try to make it as smooth as you can and as cohesive as you can. What you're trying to do is optically fool the observer that there was no problem here to start with. So this is the first slip mold I've had on a Mantic model, and you know, that's pretty good for how small their operation is, and usually their resins are flawless. So this is the first flawed resin that I've had. And some people will throw their hands up in despair and send this thing back to Mantic and want all kinds of freebies and stuff for the torment that they had to have just by looking at this. But this is very, very fixable, and you don't need to go through a bunch of conniption fits over this. It's very fixable. It's still a nice model. It just needs a little TLC. And I guess I have been, fired in the heat of crappy Games Workshop models for so long that that this is nothing to me. So, all right, let's move on. I guess we've got a set of feet. And that's, oh, well, because that armor piece had a foot. Then you have another foot here. Nothing looks slipped. See, I'm looking for that now, since they did it on my first one. I don't see any goofy mold issues, like for some reason this guy has two mold lines. That's interesting. And then some I guess, loincloths. The only tattered part. Like, what the heck is the deal? You're gonna have this tattered cloth and this guy that is all, like, immaculate. Really. He's got very crisp armor and whatnot. No rust, no nothing on there unless you paint it on. Then you're gonna give him a tattered cloth. That dude's too imperial for this mess. Yeah, everything looks crisp and clean. A good set, man. A real good set. So you're gonna have these junky cast-offs. You know, so they clearly boxed this fairly quickly, but these things are gonna come off the bases here. See how it's got that ridge? It's gonna snap off of there. Bet you dollars to pesos that's what happened. See that ridge? So yeah, it just totally snapped right off. But these are excellent, aside from the one main body that was jacked up. Super excited about these rat swarms. These guys are awesome. That little detail there makes me smile. And a little tail wrapped around that bolt head. Very cool. You got a little rat there who's got somebody else's tail wrapped around his face. Like, hey man, I can't see where I'm going. So, very cool. This is a treat here. So this is going to take minimal cleanup work, and if they had a slip mold on something like this, that's where it's going to be a huge problem, because you've got all these dips and valleys, all this extreme fur and stuff like that you would have to clean around, and you're talking about time consuming. So this might be something that I throw a fit about, but yeah, as it is, it's wonderful. You know, these are just sculpted really great and molded great, and what a good material resin is. Don't go inhaling this stuff, you know, but you can trim it and scrape it with a knife and everything's fine. You don't have to get on your hazmat suit for that. You know, what can I say? I guess she's better than what was the yellow cheese guys that I just got done dealing with. And I'll probably show you that too, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I finally have one of these. I got the old crone mother from Volt Chasers, but yeah, so a good set all in all. You know, she's not many pieces. What is this? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, including the base, is 8 pieces for her, but she's a big model. Honestly, I don't really like her splat ability. I'm gonna use somebody else, but yeah, the rats are most excellent. These guys, Swarm Guard or whatever they're called, they're really cool. Very, very militant. But anyway, this video is running a bit long, so I will sign off. You guys take it easy, stay safe out there, carry a laser. Bye-bye.